Books, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the reader Ethan Crane. His 2-day mission: to explore strange new novels, to seek out new words and new characters to cry over, to boldly go where no Honors English 2 student has gone before. Now that that cringeworthy introduction is done, let's move on to the things that will actually get me points for this assignment. I'll start with the easier questions and then move on to the harder ones towards the end of the video. And I apologize for this in advance. The book that I read was Divergent by Veronica Roth. This book is about a 16-year-old girl named Beatrice who is in a faction called Abnegation. After Beatrice turns 16, she's given an aptitude test to see which faction she best resonates with. However, Beatrice's results are inconclusive. This is what the people in her society refer to as divergence. This means she is given the opportunity to choose between more than one faction. Each of these 5 factions has their own set of unique qualities. Abnegation believes in selflessness, Erudite believe in the pursuit of knowledge, Amity believe in kindness, Dauntless believe in courage, and Candor believe in honesty. I'll start with the question of did I enjoy the book? And yes, I did very much so enjoy the book. I think it had a lot of good imagery as well as like an underlying love story and lots of action and killing and violence. Not so much killing, just violence. Lots of people getting beaten up and lots of knives and guns. Divergent definitely fulfilled my expectations of it. I had heard a lot about it before I started reading it, and I also started reading it before, and it just didn't really interest me. And this giving it a second chance was a really good decision because it's pretty good, and I'm glad I gave it a second chance. And I was not disappointed at all because I don't know why I just stopped reading it the first time. That was just a stupid decision on my part. And yeah, fulfilled expectations. Was I disappointed? No. Good characters, action and killing and violence as mentioned beforehand. And what else? Killing and violence, love story. Yeah, nothing much. This is not going as well as I had hoped. The plot of this book was also pretty nice. It took a little while to get into, like maybe 100 pages, because the first 100 pages is just her choosing her faction and a day in the abnegation shoes and how boring she thought it was. And then it's her crying herself to sleep for the first few nights because she misses her family, and then she's like, friends. I've made friends. And then she gets beat up because that's part of Dauntless initiation, apparently, is getting beat up and beating people up a lot. And that's just weird, but I guess, courage and bravery requires you to beat people up? I don't understand, but that's whatever. Plot. Good. A. Slash B, maybe. It's hard to decide because, yeah, definitely. Yes, A slash B. Terrible. Going bad. Yes. So bad. Look at me rambling at the thing on my computer. You're gonna watch this. I'm just gonna cry. Well, the book is basically molded around a huge choice that Beatrice had to make that had like so many moral implications, like so many, and that was choosing her faction. And I don't really think I would have made the same decision in her shoes because the three factions that she was that she could have chosen were abnegation, erudite, and dauntless. And I think the author Veronica Roth kind of just makes all the other she like amplifies how many flaws there are in all of the factions, in fact, and makes it seem like there really isn't a good decision as to which faction to choose. Except for Amity. She really doesn't say much about Amity, but she she glamorizes how pristine everyone thinks erudite is, but really they're just out to get everyone, especially abnegation. And abnegation, they're selfless, but they are like the routine that they go through every day is really boring, and I just I'm not about that life. And dauntless, they're just like super reckless, and bravery is bravery isn't really what they value anymore. It's the base of what they really were founded on, but really now they don't. They aren't so much brave rather than just like doing stuff because they're proving that they're not a coward. And what's the other one? Erudite. Candor believes in honesty, and you would have to tell the truth all the time, and that means like you would have to never tell a lie, even when it's to like a white lie to keep the information from someone to keep them from getting hurt or something of that nature. And I'm just not about that life either. So I mean, I don't know if I even would have chosen. I just don't like this situation at all because they all have their flaws and they all seem like they just wouldn't be a good. I wouldn't fit in any of them, I'm pretty sure. But that's just me. Some of the book's themes are like being loyalty to your family and loyalty to your faction. Lots of times throughout the book, it tells how Triss misses her family all the time and how she still thinks maybe abnegation is where she should have stayed because both her brother and her left the faction and abandoned their families, and how she still kind of feels guilty about that. And that was just really important throughout the book as to being loyal to both your family and your faction by not running away from the faction, dauntless or erudite or amity or candor or abnegation. I think I said that one already, but not to run away and whenever things get tough, I guess this is going to be cliche, but whenever things get tough, you don't just quit. Whenever you're getting beat up all the time, like Triss or like her friends, you don't just quit because otherwise you'd get kicked out of the faction, and otherwise the story just wouldn't have had a plot if Triss was just like, nah, man, I'm done with this because I got beat up in the face and almost thrown off a cliff down into a waterfall. And if that's not important, I don't know what important is. So, the images in the book are symbolically significant. There's one when Triss gets a tattoo for the first time. She gets a tattoo of three ravens on her collarbone, and she tells us that it represents the three family members that she left behind, and how she will always remember them by getting the tattoo, because tattoos are permanent, like her family, even though she abandoned them when choosing Dauntless over Abnegation. And this defines Triss by um, like basically telling you how much her family means to her, and she how much they mean to her, and how much she misses them, but she's not going to leave her faction for them, leave her new faction for them. And she couldn't, even if she wanted to, because then she would live factionless, which is like homeless, and you're on the streets with not enough food and not enough like clothing and stuff. So yeah, that helps define Triss a lot. The symbolism of and um, her tattoos and other things that she does. I don't think she ever gets a piercing, but that's her like symbolically leaving, officially leaving the Abnegation faction by doing things that they wouldn't approve of, and just breaking away from Abnegation once and for all. I would most definitely recommend Divergent to my friends or to other readers. If they enjoyed the Hunger Games books, this is very similar in the dystopian uh, dystopian USA split into like districts or factions, and um, yeah, because those books are really popular, and this is really popular. There's actually a movie coming out, so if you're gonna see the movie, you should probably read the book. And so I would recommend this book if you're looking forward to, if you like, action and romance and getting beaten up. Yes. Divergent. Veronica Roth. Read it.